This podcast is a member of the New York City Podcast Network at nycpodcastnetwork.com. Visit us to listen to over 250 amazing podcasts just like this one.
Japanese street style is some of the cutest and trendiest clothing in the world. Introducing Cherry Goddess Women's Clothing and Accessories, the hottest original and cute clothing company. We offer tops, clothes, accessories, shoes, dresses and skirts, and comfortable homeware that we guarantee you will love. Cherry Goddess Women's Clothing, super cute Japanese style clothing.
This is Black Wall Street Chronicles, and we're back at it again. I just want to give a rest in peace to the great Chadwick Boseman. He died after his long 4-year battle of colon cancer. We're going to give condolences to his wife and his family. The first time I got introduced to Chadwick Boseman is the movie 42, where he played Jackie Robinson and Nicole Bahari played Jackie Robinson's wife. Yeah, I'm sorry it's been a while since I did my last podcast. I think I'm going through, like a lot of Americans in this country, quarantine exhaustion. And this episode, I'm going to talk about quarantine exhaustion and how we as an American people can deal with it. But before we get started, here's some church announcements. Now, I have put my episode. My podcast is now registered on Amazon.com as a television show. So if you also want to listen to the link of my podcast, you can also go look at it through Amazon.com. I'm registered on the IMBD rating system on Amazon. I'm registered as an executive producer, a director, a writer, and an editor of this podcast. If you see my podcast on IMBD and Amazon.com, be sure to give my podcast 5 stars. I would like to thank the city of Oakland, California, because it seems that Oakland, California is the one that's listening to my podcast the most. So all the listeners in Oakland, California, and all around the world, if you listen to my Amazon, which is available on all platforms, please sure to rate it 5 stars and leave a comment. Also, you can, my podcast is registered on Anchor.com, so if you want to, you can leave, if you want to financially support my podcast, you can pay a small fee of $10 a month. But if you're not able to pay that money, that's cool. I want you to listen, and I want you to hit the like button on my podcast. Thank you. Now let's get right to it. Give me a moment. Let me load up some articles. Okay. This article is from Massachusetts General Hospital. It was created June 2nd, 2020. It's called Overcoming Quarantine Fatigue. Over the last several months, physical distancing and quarantine have been experienced most could never imagine. And while parts of the country and segments of industries are slowly reopening, there's still uncertainty on how long it will take for things to go back to normal, or what the new normal will even look like. As more passes without clear answers, it is very easy to feel tired of it at all. Lorena Marquez, PhD Director of Common Psychiatry and Mass General Research Scholar 2020 and 2025, Also, insights into these feelings of quarantine fatigue and tips on working through them. What is quarantine fatigue? Quarantine fatigue may look different from person to person, but overall it is defined as exhaustion associated with the new restrictive lifestyle that has been adopted to slow the spread of COVID-19, says Dr. Marquez. This exhaustion can be experienced differently by people, but symptoms may include feeling tense, irritable, or anxious, changes in eating or sleeping habits, loss of motivation or reduced productivity, racing thoughts, interpersonal conflict, social withdrawal. As Dr. Marquez notes, this is not an exhaustive list. There is no right way to feel right now, and however you may be feeling is valid in its own right. Are reopening plans a green light? With summer around the corner and states easing restriction in an effort to reopen, research from the University of Maryland has shown that between April 23rd and May 1st, many states saw that a 30% decrease in the percentage of people staying home. There has also been a 20% increase in interstate travel across partially reopened states. Dr. Marquez warns of the danger in moving too fast. It is important to understand that although states are making progress towards reopening, we have not yet reached the stage of what we are calling the new normal. Partial reopening plans may feel like a green light for us, but it's just one step in a long process. After feeling the effects of quarantine fatigue for so many weeks, it may be tempting to get back into the world to try to alleviate those feelings we're having. The only compounding the problem and cause another infection spike. The key here is to figure out what we can put in place of that home so our mental health feels manageable without putting others at risk of contracting the virus. Tips to deal with quarantine fatigue. So what can we do to work through quarantine fatigue? Dr. Marquez and members of the Department of Psychiatry at Mass General offering the following tips. Practice mindfulness. While mindfulness may not feel like a normal practice to some, it is an effective strategy that can help manage stress and actually change your brain. Mindfulness is being present, purposeful, and non-judgmental in the movement you're existing within. Over time, practice mindfulness can alleviate and even strengthen connections in our prefrontal cortex, which plays an important role in attention. 4 mini relaxation techniques. Minutes a day and getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night have major effects on our mood and mental health, immune system, and help to improve our memory and concentration. 3. Connect with others. While we may need to physically distant from our friends and loved ones, we don't need to be socially different. Robert Waldinger, MD, Director of Center of Psychodynamic Therapy and Research at Mass General, says that the 75-year-long study on happiness has shown that one of the top predictors of how happy and healthy you are is the quality of your relationships. Use this extra time to reach out to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Make family dinner a fun event and invest in the relationships around you. Additional resources. The Department of Psychiatry has put together a curated set of resources to help patients and providers work through the stress of COVID-19. View the department's General Mental Health and Coping Guide. Alright, so we know what quarantine fatigue, and we gave the 4 things that the 3 things that you can do to deal with quarantine fatigue. Now, we're going to talk about the 4 mini relaxation exercises. The 4 mini relaxation exercises was created April 4th, 2019. Many relaxation exercises are focused breathing techniques which help reduce anxiety and tension immediately. You can do them with your eyes open or closed. Make sure that your eyes are open when you are driving. You can do them in any place at any time. No one will know that you are doing them. Start with belly breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. You should feel your stomach rising about 1 inch as you breathe in and falling about 1 inch as you breathe out. If this is difficult for you, try laying on your back or your stomach. You will become more aware of your breath. Remember, it is impossible to practice belly breathing if you're holding your stomach in. Be sure to relax your stomach muscles. When to use mini relaxation techniques. While being stuck in traffic or at a red light, while put on hold during an important phone call, while waiting in your doctor's waiting room, when someone says something which bothers you, when you feel overwhelmed by what you need to accomplish in the near future, while standing in line, when you are in pain. 40 mini relaxation exercises. Count very slowly to yourself from 10 down to 0. Number one for each out breath. For instance, with the first diaphragmatic breath, you say 10 to yourself. With the next breath, you say 9. If you start feeling lightheaded or dizzy, slow down the counting. When you get to 0, see how you are feeling. If you're feeling better, great. If not, try doing it again. Option 2. Inhale, count to 4. Exhale, count back to 1. As you inhale, count very slowly up to 4. As you exhale, count slowly back down to 1. Do this several times. For instance, as you inhale and say to yourself 1, 2, 3, 4. As you exhale, you say to yourself 4, 3, 2, 1. Option 3. Inhale, count to 3. Exhale, count to 3. After each inhalation, pause and count 1, 2, 3. Breath is held in. After you exhale, pause and count 1, 2, 3. Do this for several breaths. Option 4. Inhale, I am. Exhale, at peace. On the in breath, you think I am. On the out breath, you think at peace. Okay. Now there's the 4 mini relaxation techniques to deal with anxiety during COVID-19 quarantine fatigue. All right. Now, on the second one, they said recharge through eating, sleeping, and exercises. And they have 2 extra articles on how to do that. So I'm going to read them right now. Okay. Food versus mood. Eating for physical or mental health during COVID-19. This article was created March 25th, 2020. And it was written by Uma Nadu of Massachusetts General Hospital. Uma Nadu, MD, of Massachusetts General Hospital. In trying times and under stressful circumstances, it can be easy to reach for foods for emotional comfort. However, the draw to these less than ideal foods can also impact one's mental health. Here, Uma Nadu, MD, Director of MGH Neutral Lifestyle Psychiatry, offers advice to help keep mentally and physically healthy during the COVID-19 pandemic. What is nutritional psychiatry and how does it link to mental health and nutrition? The best way to think of the connection is the old saying, you are what you eat. Nutritional psychiatry studies the impact of food and nutrients on mental health. Scientifically, there is a physical connection between the gut and the brain due to certain chemicals which move back and forth between these areas of the body, which further impacts mental health. For example, one area of research has shown that the following a Mediterranean dietary pattern can protect against the development of depression. What sort of mental health issues can be good nutrition alleviate? Anxiety is the most common mental health disorder in the United States, followed by depression, and the country is no doubt seeing a worsening of these mental health issues during the COVID-19 pandemic. Eating more fruits and vegetables, lean meats, whole grains, and healthy fats, such as olive oil and avocado, while cutting back on added sugars will go a long way to a healthier balance of gut bacteria, which has shown to help alleviate anxiety, stress, and depression. What should people look for when buying food? When shopping, I always recommend filling the cart with healthy options at first. There are some tips to shop for fruit which provide better mental health. Browse around the outer ring of the store where fruits, vegetables, dairy, meats, poultry are located. Consider sweet potatoes over regular potatoes as they are more complex carved and take longer to digest. You can even make oven fries with these. Try roasting spaghetti squash to create a pasta alternative. Reach for organized canned beans, black beans, red kidney beans, cannellini, butter beans, navy beans, or dry-ins of you know how to pressure cook them. Frozen vegetables with no added salt or sugar are super easy, healthy, and quick to make. Opt for ground chicken or turkey instead of beef. Frozen fruits without adding syrup are another great option if you have the freezer space. What are some optional snacks you recommend to help manage the cravings people might get while having at home? Here's your hints to manage your sweet and savory cravings. Pair antioxidant-rich dark natural chocolate with fresh orange or clementine segments. Eating natural chocolate without the addition of alkalizing agents called Dutch will provide the positive brain benefits present in dark chocolate. Additionally, all citrus is rich in vitamin C, a huge immunity booster. Make air pop popcorn and add an interesting seasoning like taco spices for a nice crunchy snack with less oil. Experimented with Olston roasted kale chips to offset behavior and less healthy potato chips. Try a mixed berry salad with Greek yogurt and a drizzle of honey. Are there foods to avoid which can be detrimental to well-being and mental health? I call the usual suspect because even though we may not know that they are the best for us, we may not realize they are also worsening mental health conditions. While it is important to have some enjoyable treats at a time like this, the key word is moderation. Have your favorite not so healthy snack, but you can share them along with family or simply ration out smaller portions. Other helpful tips. Avoid fruit juices and added sugars that simply make for more calories. For example, eat an orange, avoid the orange juice. Stay away from packaged cookies and baked goods. These treats are highly processed with a lot of preservatives and worsen one's mood. Instead of candy, a good way to get both texture and a street flavor is to consider a mix of raw almonds with pieces of chocolate chips and coconut flakes. Avoid fried foods. Use oven bake or air fryer options and fast foods. Are there any specific online resources you advise folks to look into when they're trying to figure out when to eat or maintain good nutrition or mental health? Obviously, here's my few of my favorite sites where I share folks looking to help maintain their physical and mental health during this time. The Nutrition Source from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, Tufts University Health and Nutrition Letter, Adopt a Mediterranean Diet Now for Better Later Health from Harvard Health Publishing. Okay. Lastly, Nadu advises allowing yourself a weekly treat day and selecting one or two less healthier options the whole family enjoys. This way, one can indulge without throwing their bodies for a loop and maintain moderation. Okay. Should I read these articles? Yes, they have dietary styles. All right. This article is from Harvard T.J. Chan School of Public Health. Yeah, he's a professor in Harvard. So, healthy dietary styles. While current research comparing diets of different monocurrent ratios may not be point to one perfect diet, there is a comparative research about certain dietary styles, including the Mediterranean diet, that offers strong guidance. Curious about quick fixes like diet pills and gastric bypass surgery? Check it out, chips out reach your winning weight. Low fat fails. While low fat was once diet du jour, subsequent research has shown that low fat diets are ineffective and moreover that eating healthy fats is beneficial for health. In the United States, obesity has become increasingly common as the percentage of fat in the American diet has declined from 45% in the 1960s to about 33% in the late 1990s. So cutting fat is not about shrinking waistlines. Experimental studies lasting 1 year or longer have shown a link between dietary fat and weight. In the 8-year Women's Health Initiative dietary modification trial, women assigned to a low-fat diet didn't lose or gain more weight than women eating their usual fare. Low carbohydrate and Mediterranean diets can be effective. While many diets are fads meant to be followed for short periods of time, research shows that some approaches, including some low carbohydrate diets and Mediterranean diets, can be good models for which to base your own dietary strategy as long as they incorporate healthy, high quality foods. One study comparing the low carbohydrate, low fat, and Mediterranean diet followed over 300 people for a 2-year period and found that the diets composed of different foods can lead to different weight loss outcomes. Published in the New England Journal of Medicine, this study concluded that Mediterranean and low carbohydrate diets might be more effective than low fat diets. The positive effect of the low carbohydrate diet and the Mediterranean diet upon lipids and glycemic control suggests that individualized dietary interventions, which could take personal preferences and metabolic considerations into account, could be effective. A large randomized trial on the effects of a Mediterranean diet on cardiovascular disease showed that among patients that's high risk for CVD, COVID-19, a Mediterranean diet supplemented with extra olive oil or nuts reduced the incidence of major cardiovascular events 4.8 years of follow-up. This was the first randomized trial that showed reduced cardiac arrest over a long period. So it provided such scientific evidence that the Mediterranean diet is a healthy diet approach. Through this study focused on cardiovascular outcomes rather than weight loss, it still provides solid evidence that a calorie is a calorie. If not the case, all that instead food quality is a key contributor to personal health. It also shows that low-fat diets are continuing to lose credibility in incorporating healthy fats, such as those included in the Mediterranean diet, can improve health, heart health, and weight loss. What is the Mediterranean diet? There's a one exact Mediterranean diet, as this eating style takes into account to different foods, eating patterns, and the lifestyles of multiple countries that border the Mediterranean Sea. However, there are similarities that define a Mediterranean eating pattern. The best diet incorporates high-quality foods in appropriate portions. There isn't one perfect diet for everyone. Calories matter, but quality is equally important. When making dietary decisions, regardless of whether you choose a certain dietary lifestyle such as low carbohydrate or Mediterranean, you can also use the healthy eating plate as a guide for how to fill your plate. A healthy diet for weight loss also needs to be sustainable, and regardless of you eating, you need to make sure that you're not eating too many calories overall. Calories do matter, but focus first on choosing high quality foods. Okay. Well, according to the article, it says having a Mediterranean diet or a type of Mediterranean diet is helpful for cardiovascular health, and to my understanding, COVID-19 actually attacks, well, nobody really knows what it attacks. They say that it attacks the respiratory system. And as you know, the respiratory system is responsible to providing oxygen to the whole body. In the first places that it provides oxygen to is the cardiovascular system. So who knows? The Mediterranean diet may help combat COVID-19. Let me use another article that this MD, Miss Nadu from Massachusetts Health Center. All right. About diets. Okay. Hope there isn't no darn paywall. These articles be having paywalls, y'all. Oh, good, it doesn't. Tufts University. Freeman School of Nutrition Science and Policy. All right. I want to eat less animal products. What are the best protein sources? Okay. This is good for you vegans and the one that like to use for your diet, vegans and the ones that like to use uh, vegetables for your diet. A Lauren McAvoy, a dietetic intern at Tufts Medical Center, answers, in general, animal foods tend to have higher protein levels per serving than plant foods, but that doesn't mean you won't be able to eat enough plant food to meet your daily protein goals. It is recommended that protein provide 10 and 25. Yeah, it's a darn paywall. Nah. Alright, forget it. Okay, so let me look for more quarantine exhaustion articles. This was actually a good one. It got us a lot of information. So we're gonna go to healthline.com. Alright, let's hope there's no paywall on this article. There isn't. Yes, quarantine fatigue is real. Here's how to cope. It could be at least another year before everyday life returns to normal during COVID-19. So it's important to find ways to adapt to the current circumstances. Routines are helpful. Routine and schedules are helpful. If yours has been disrupted, try to find new ones. Make personal time for yourself while also connecting with friends and family. Try to allow time for physical exercise and maintain your diet while staying away from less healthy vices. All data and statistics are based on publicly available data at the time of publication. Some information may be out of date. Visit our coronavirus hub and follow our live updates page for the most instant information on the COVID-19 epidemic. So if you guys want to go to this article to find out about COVID-19, it's healthline.com. All right. It's more than 2 months since self-isolation and shutter businesses became the norm in most of North America during the COVID-19 pandemic. While there's talk of gradual reopenings in some areas, we still could be more than a year away from life returning to normal. As quarantine fatigue takes root, experts say it's worth checking in with yourself and others to deal with this uncertainty in a healthy way. A lot of people describe being really fatigued at the end of the day. Mary Fistrad, PhD, a psychiatrist at the Ohio State University Wexner and Medical Center, told Healthline. This is due to so many reasons. One is we are experiencing so much change and unpredictability in our life. Fistrad explains. A lot of people are feeling very anxious, particularly if they're having financial difficulties, which so many people are. The extra demands of getting through the tasks of the day. When suddenly parents are supposed to be working from home and also providing education for their children, add up to an exhausting schedule for many people. Melissa Wessner, LCPC, a licensed clinical professional counselor and founder of LifeSpring Counseling Service, told Healthline that there were some commonalities to the way people are responding to the pandemic. Individual responses can vary. There are some situations that are similar across the board, and other responses depend on each person's unique life experiences, she explained. For example, many people who work from home at a computer are reporting fatigue and eye strain. Even people who are not identified as extroverts are reporting missing the opportunity to physically be with friends, families, and coworkers. While phone calls and video chats provide a much-needed social outlet, Westner says that seemingly paradoxical interactions, socializing while socially distant, don't completely fill the void for many people. I've heard several people say that they are starting to struggle because they're missing human interaction, physical presence, and hugs. These individuals have commented that online communications with friends just isn't the same. Senior psychiatrist with Northern Health and Lake Success. New York's adds the pandemic makes it difficult for people to hit their optimal level of stimulation. Warner Cohen pointed to the Yerkes-Dawson's law, which states that people need a certain level of stimulation in order to be most efficient. Understimulation results in lower motivation, while overstimulation can cause a lack of focus. There's an overstimulation from constant information influx and uncertainty as what will come for this information, and this is tiring, she told Healthline. There's also fatigue associated with lack of stimulation. Not having a change in environment is difficult. People are both an understimulated and overstimulated state. Both can have results in negative impacts on mood. Here's how you can help yourself. While the comforting routines of day-to-day life is disrupted, most experts suggest creating new routines. Physical fitness is something that could fall by the wayside of gyms, colds, and people cooped up at home. A lot of people aren't exercising, so it's very easy to get into a sedentary lifestyle, which can contribute to not sleeping well at night, which contributes to fatigue during daytime, Fitzgerald said. To combat this, Fitzgerald said sticking to some time routine or schedule, even if it isn't rigid as the pre-pandemic norm. Visual exercise classes are widely available in this new era of video chats. With spring weather taking hold, it's also a good time to respond, enjoy some sunshine. Yeah, this article was done in May 4th, 2020, so it's not spring anymore. We're in the middle of August. To combat this, Fisher says sticking to some kind of routine and schedule, even if it's rigid and I already read that. Good time to responsibly enjoy some sunshine. All right. It is also to avoid unhealthy coping, she said. The amount of alcohol purchases has gone up dramatically since COVID-19 hit. It may be that people simply aren't going out to bars or restaurants, but there's a significant concern that some folks are turning to alcohol or other drugs as a means of managing their mood to this time. Fitzgerald also emphasized the importance of finding time for yourself. Human beings are social creatures, but many people have found themselves in households that feel more crowded than usual. It's really important to maintain some time alone. It differs from person to person and how much we need, but we all need the ability to decompress, she said. While the global pandemic may not immediately inspire thoughts of gratitude, mindfulness is a useful technique during this trying time. It is important to remember that people are resilient and that we have the ability to get through hard times. The pandemic and social distancing guidelines provide us with new opportunities to be creative, work efficiently, and come together as family, friends, as colleagues, and community. Yeah, that was a good article. And again, if you want to read this article, all you got to do is go to healthline.com. Yeah, it's a difficult time. Like, again, Chadwick Boseman of the Black Panther movie, him passing away is just like, I left a Facebook post saying that I'm really done with this year. Like, this year ain't shit. You know, when people said hindsight 2020, they wasn't talking about this. This is ridiculous. This is like a H.P. Lovecraftian nightmare. Where is Journey Somewhat to save my life? Anyway, this is going to be a short show, so yeah, we've been having a tough year. We've had the death of Ahmaud Arbery. We had the death of Breonna Taylor. We had the death of, what is this? Well, I'm so stressed out. I can't even think about this guy's name. Death in Wisconsin. Shot in the back. Jacob Blake. Yeah, we have the gentleman Jacob Blake that was shot 7 times in his back in front of his kids. They already have Benjamin Crump defending him, and they already talking about forgiveness, which makes me mad. Even though, you know, if Jacob Blake's family wants forgiveness, and that's the right to, if they want to forgive, that's their right. If that's how they cope, it's on them. I'm just so tired. I don't know what to do, man. It's really difficult. I'm not in the right space right now to talk about Jacob Blake. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end the show now, and next week I'm gonna talk about the Jacob Blake shooting and thoroughly. I will see you next month. I will not take so long. The next podcast will be out next Saturday. Thank you very much, and God bless you. This is Jeff signing off.